Hey, it's Rick from me and my big mouth bass. I want to take a closer look at the Spro BBZ-1 Rats. So recently I've purchased a bunch of Spro BBZ-1 Rats, and I've spent a lot of time on the water throwing nothing but these lures, and I've gotten a good feel for how they work, their effectiveness. So I wanted to make a video so I could show you exactly how I use them and how effective I think they are. I can tell you right now, they are turning into one of my favorite lures. So my goal for this video is to first give you an overview of the Rat, but then I want to give you a review of how I feel it works, and also some tips that I found that really help me catch even more fish. So the Spro BBZ-1 Rats come in three sizes, a 30, a 40, and a 50, and they range between $20 and $30. These two are the 30s, and this one is the size 40. So the Spro BBZ-1 Rat 30 is the smallest of the three rats. It's 3 1/4 inches long with just the body. With the tail, it's 6 1/4 inches long, and it weighs a ½ ounce. So it's pretty small. Now you can see when you compare it to the Rat 40, the Rat 40 is much bigger. The body to this is 4 inches long, and with the tail, it's 7 1/2 inches long, and it weighs 1 ounce. So it's much bigger than the 30 size. Now if you think the Rat 40 is big, the Rat 50 is even bigger. So I don't have one to show you, but that rat, the body itself is 5 1/4 inches, and with the tail it's a full 10 inches long. So it's a pretty massive size rat. Now if you're thinking that sounds big, just wait, I'm going to get into that a little bit later in the video. So all these rats come in about 7 different colors. So this 40 is in Gray Ghost, and these two 30s, this one is in Morning Dawn, and this is in the traditional brown color. Now they also have a white and a black, which they call Ninja. In addition to that, they also have a nasty shad color and one that's called Chrome, which looks exactly the way it sounds. So if you look at the rat, it has a square bill in front and a jointed midsection, which makes it perform a walking action, create a wake on top of the water. Now with the square bill, if you would like to, it could also dive a few inches under the water, but we'll get into how you can fish this later on. The tail is segmented, which makes it wave in the water, and it really imitates a swimming rodent. It looks exactly like one in the water. Now each rat comes with 2 separate tails. The tails are interchangeable, and all that's holding them in place is a toothpick. And what you do is you just pop the toothpick out of these holes, put a new tail in, and slide another toothpick in. Now what you can also do, instead of using one of the tails that it comes with, you can fit any soft plastic worm that will fit in that hole. So that's a great design for it. You'll never run out of tails as long as you have a worm with you. And you can also order extra tails separately, so you don't have to buy a whole new rat if you need another tail. Now like I said, I love this lure. Now I've bought 2 30 sizes and 1 40 size. When I originally placed the order, I was looking at the sizes and I thought the 40 might be just a little too big. I still wanted to try it out, so I ordered one of those and 2 30s. Now what I found was that the 30 will catch a lot of fish, but the 40 will as well. And a lot of the fish that it will catch won't be much bigger than this rat itself. So it'll catch just about every size fish, as well as some really big ones. And if you want to see a video of a monster bass being caught on the size 40, I have a video in my channel. I'll put the link to it in the description below. It's actually this rat right here. So the size 40 will catch a lot of fish. Originally I thought the 50 was way too big. I even thought the 40 was too big. I plan on buying a size 50 as well, because I think that'll help me catch more big fish, and that's what I'm really looking for. I don't really want to waste my time with smaller ones. I want to catch some monsters. So, and I thought the 40 would do that, and it has, but I think the 50 might help me really single out just the monster fish. Now these lures are incredibly easy to use. Basically you cast it out there and you reel it in, and it does all the work. Unlike with fishing a frog, where you actually have to work at it to make it walk across the water, the rat in its design does it automatically. So there's nothing really you have to do. Now there's different techniques that we'll get into later, but really just reeling it in will do the job. Now the walking action imitates a real rodent swimming in the water. And if you combine that with the rattle it has inside, I can't see how a fish won't bite this. And really that's what I'm experiencing. I'm catching a ton of fish. On one day I caught easily 20 bass just on this 40. So some other positives about this lure is the design of the hooks. Now these are really big hooks. But what I love about the design is they don't intersect with each other. I can't remember a single time where they've actually hooked onto each other in either a cast or a retrieve. It just doesn't happen. Every now and then it might get caught on the bill, but it happens so rarely that it won't even deter me from using this lure. But there is one negative I have with this lure, and that comes with the tail. Now, what makes this tail so great is the segmented joints, but to keep those attached, it looks like it's a piece of braided line that runs through and it's attaching the joints. Now, what's happened to me twice already is that the first and the second joint get pulled apart a little bit. If you look at the design down here, because they're jointed this way, they can only bend so far. But when they get pulled apart like this and the braided line is exposed more, it allows you to fold it a lot more. And what happens is it gets caught around this bottom hook. And when it's loose like this, it happens all the time. I would say every third cast, this will happen to it. And it really affects the walking action. It affects everything about it. So then you have to pick it up, you have to get it unhooked, and it's just going to happen again. And this is the second one. I've already used the first tail. That tail already ripped off, and that's the second tail right there. The reason why that happens is because I'm getting so many strikes. So I guess it's a good problem to have. It's really frustrating, don't get me wrong. It's definitely going to annoy you. But if it's because I'm catching a lot of fish, so be it. I'll buy a bunch more tails so I don't have this problem. And let me just say, changing the tail is not as easy as it sounds. I know I told you all you have to do is pop a toothpick out, put the tail in, put another toothpick in. It's not quite that simple. Now what I ended up doing was cutting a small hook that I have and trying to shove it through there. And what ends up happening is it just kind of goes through the toothpick. The toothpick doesn't push out. But what worked for me was I actually twisted the tail until the toothpick broke. So I twisted it, broke the toothpick, pulled it out, and replaced it with a new toothpick, and that did the job. But it's not as simple as it looks. And I'm going to have to do it to this one now because I can't keep fishing it like this. It drives me crazy. And the last thing I want to be is frustrated when I'm out on the water. So like I said, the lure does pretty much all the work for you. It will walk all by itself just as you retrieve it. If you retrieve a little faster, it will start to dive. And I will say, I haven't caught any fish with it diving. I'm not saying you can't, I'm just saying that I haven't caught any. All my success has come when I have it right on the surface and it's creating a nice wake. And when I say it looks just like a mouse swimming in the water, it's identical. So I don't like to have it dive down. I like it staying right on top of the surface. And where I've gotten the majority of my strikes is right near cover. So if there's a fallen tree, a log, a rock, or even the shoreline, I want to cast this as close to that as possible. Oftentimes, I'll get a strike as soon as it hits the water. But if not, I let it sit there, I let the ripples kind of fade away, and then I'll just give it one little twitch. And often, I'll get another hit, just like that. If not, then I start with my slow, steady retrieve back to the boat or the kayak. And I have caught many fish away from shore, so I'm not saying you're only going to catch it next to structure, but most of my hits have come right next to that cover. Now, something that was a little unexpected to me is when I first started fishing this, I thought the bass were going to blow this up. I thought it was going to be even more violent than when you're fishing a frog, because you know when you're fishing a frog, they come and they just annihilate the frog. And that's what I thought was going to happen to the rat, and that's not the case at all. What I've noticed is instead of really hitting it hard, it kind of just plucks it out of the water. It's a very gentle strike. Sometimes I won't even hear it. I'll see a little ripple on the surface. I'll notice that the rat has disappeared, and I know I have a strike. But they don't generally hit this very hard. I have had it happen a few times, but for the most part, it's very gentle. And because of that, I've noticed that they don't take the whole rat in at one shot. Now with the frog, a lot of times they'll even try to swallow that thing. They'll take the whole thing in its mouth in one gulp. In the rat, not so much. A lot of times they take just the backside. And I found because they're only taking maybe the backside of this rat, I'll wait just a little bit, let it swim away, and take more of it in its mouth. And by doing that, I increase my hookup ratio. And it'll also increase my probability of keeping them hooked because both hooks will be in the mouth. So that's just one tip that I've learned from fishing this. So if you're looking for a new lure to try, I definitely recommend the Spro BBZ-1 Rat. Like I said, it's one of my top 3 lures already. I just started using it maybe a month ago, and I fish it exclusively now at times. I also know that when the bites are hard to come by, the Rat's going to produce for me, and it helps me catch a lot more fish. So if you've fished these before, or if you have another lure that you want me to try out and review, leave a comment below. If you like this video, hit a thumbs up, and please don't forget to subscribe. That'll give you a chance to be in one of my subscriber spotlight videos. And I'm also on Instagram, me and my big mouth bass, so go find me, give me a follow, and of course, thanks for watching.